Hi, everybody. It's me again. It is Halloween night. Samhain. Happy, blessed. They call it Samhain or Samhain. It depends on how you pronounce it. And I hope you are all having a great one. I hope those who go trick-or-treating are having fun with their children. I know everybody's out and about. I haven't carved my pumpkin. I bought one a while ago and it rotted from the inside, a crappy one from Walmart. So I have payday tomorrow. So when I go shopping on Friday, I'm sure they'll have pumpkins left. I'm going to get one and carve it this weekend. Probably Friday night or Saturday later in the evening or even Sunday. So first and foremost, I did a live feed earlier, but obviously people are working and everybody's getting ready for Halloween. So I just did a brief 20-minute ramble of me talking and introducing you to my dogs. I'm sitting here listening to some Halloween music with the dogs. All my candles are lit, and I wanted to first say thank you again. I know I keep saying it, but thank you to the 39 subscribers that I have for my channel. I'm forever grateful to all of you for joining. I really enjoy the interaction when you comment on my videos. I know a lot of people, the same people keep commenting, which is awesome. I'm really grateful to have met a lot of you on here. I've met so many people, not just on here, but on Facebook as well as Instagram especially. If you haven't followed my Instagram, go follow my Instagram. It's Parlay de Spirit, or and you should be able to find me there. I think I have it all linked in my bio here as well as my Facebook page and my Twitter. So the purpose of this video is I always get questions of, do I celebrate, why I don't celebrate certain holidays. You know, I talked about it earlier, how I used to be strict Roman Catholic. I consider myself pagan for the most part. I'm pretty open-minded. I like to learn, and I have learned about a lot of different religions and mythologies and different things. And I have a mixture of beliefs. And what I wanted to talk about tonight with you all and do a brief video. And I did a brief outline so that I could remember terms and things I wanted to touch on. So that is why I'm moving things around. So pagans around the world and witches are celebrating or planning on celebrating this evening. It's one of the most popular of the pagan holidays of the year. It marks the beginning of winter and what they consider the dark half of the year. Many people, like myself, because of who I am, and I refer to this a lot in my videos, I have one foot in the afterlife and one foot in the living world. And so I'm also one of those people that I don't do it just on this evening. I don't just do it on the full moons. I don't just do it on the cycles that we celebrate, you know, the ends of winter, the beginnings of spring. I do it all year round. I may not do it every single night. However, I always leave offerings and light candles for the ancestors, the gods of old, as well as fellow pagans / witches that followed the path like you and I, if you're watching this video, and died for their beliefs. And so I honor them every day of my life, but I honor them with doing rituals. I also light candles, I meditate, I burn sage, and I do mixtures of different things. And I just started doing candles. So the way I want to describe this to you is, so there used to be a store here, a botanical store, where they offer different things. They offer different sands, different some crystals, different candles, religious and non-religious, Santeria, all kinds of candles. But they also offered, when you paid extra, to bless a candle for a certain intent, kind of like I do with my pendants. And I know there's a term for it. For the life of me, it's escaped my brain. I was considering starting to do this for people. However, I don't know if there's an interest. if people would like to do that, because I would have no problem making candles because I already do resin and I already do pendants. Candles aren't a really big deal. And what you would do is you would include in the candle, when you send the candle to the person, the different intent, purposes, and the instructions. Not sure if there's any kind of interest in that, because anyways, that's what I did tonight. So earlier this morning, when I got up and went and got coffee, I came home and I lit 6 candles in the house. 2 of them are in here. One is a white candle for the ancestors. I lit my fireside candle, which my best friend that I've grown up with bought me. It's a retired Yankee candle that I love. I lit that as well. The one over here is for my friend that I work with. I've been lighting it since a week and a half ago for a certain purpose. And that is lit over there. And then the fireside was lit this morning with a little bit of dragon's blood. And then I have one in the spare room where I do all my pendants and crafts. I just made 6 more pendants, and I also am working on a Reiki wand, an Orgonite Orgone Reiki wand. Reiki. And then in the living room, I have a candle lit on my mantle with some of my Egyptian things. And that has dragon's blood and salt. And then black salt in the living room, in the kitchen, with my white candle and my witch's brew, my midsummer's Yankee candle with dragon's blood. So offerings are one of those things that is personal to the person and what your ancestry or belief system is. You'll look all over YouTube and on the internet and different Facebook pages, Instagram, Twitter, and you'll see witch groups, pagan pride groups, different things. And everyone, witches, talk about your altar, your divination tools, your blessings, like for today, because this is our holiday. And I just want to let you know, I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm a solitary witch. There's very few people that I talk about this stuff with. I am more of a solitary witch than most people. I don't believe in having to be in a coven sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable. I don't believe in having to be in a coven or having to be in a group of people in order to do magic or do rituals or do any of that stuff. I actually believe that each one of us has a purpose in regards to our path. Sorry to bounce you around a little bit. I'm trying to get comfortable. So like when people ask me, I've been mentoring people and helping people for many, many years with this stuff. And one of the major things that I used to get asked, and I still get asked, is how do you set up your altar? How do you leave offerings? What god or goddesses are in your life? How do you know who your god and goddesses are? How do you know what ritual to set up? How do you know when to do certain things? Do you do this during this moon? Do you do this during that moon? Now, if you follow the Wicca path, which, no offense to anybody who's Wiccan, but Wicca path came after paganism. Okay, so pagans came before Wiccans, same as Christians and Catholicism, right? One derived from another. So basically what happened with Catholicism and Christianity is one became out of the other from people taking what they wanted out of it and leaving what they didn't. And it's the same with Wicca. Wicca came out of paganism and they took what they wanted and what they didn't. So pagans are versely different than Wiccans. We all respect each other, and I'm not trying to insult anybody, but they're different. And many pagans are different pagans. So the reason why I say I loosely am pagan, I'm mostly pagan, but like I believe in other different things around the world and different things spiritually. So that's why I said it that way. I have a little bit, so for those of you who are wondering, the offerings that I offer are given throughout the year. Many people like to just do it on the specific season changes that pagans celebrate, and then here today, our holiday. They're very strict about that. They're very strict about what your altar should look like and what it should include. The same with what kind of candles you should use and what kind of crystals you should use. they're extremely strict and just do it the same every year. And that's great if you do that. That's not me. So I'm just sharing my personal experience for those who have asked me. So the offerings that I offer are various for specific different purposes depending on what's going on in the year with me, with people that I may be helping, or with what's going on in society. So the types of offerings that you can work on are candles are a pretty simple offering. You go and you buy a certain colored, sorry, Pugsley keeps shaking the bed. Come here, Pugs. Come here, Pugs. You can pick a different color candle for a specific offering. I always choose white for anything with the afterlife, with angels or spirit guides, or, those who have passed on. I use white. I have purple. I have one purple candle. Actually, it's almost out, that I use for my Native American, ancestors, the indigenous part of my family. And then this gray fireside candle that I haven't had in like 10 years is really important to me and really touched me that he bought it for me, because it's my how do I say it? Come on, Puggy. I'm sorry, my dog is like trying to get comfortable and he keeps moving around because his blanket is over here. Sorry, let me rewind. So the white candle is for angel spirit guides. The other candle, the purple one, is for the Native American side of my family. Oh, and here we go. The fireside one, the gray one that's retired from Yankee Candle. I haven't had that candle in 10 years. And before that, when it was readily available all the time, I used to buy it 2 at a time because I use it in all of my honorings for my Egyptian side of my life. I have a past life that I remembered that was Egyptian, 2 different lives. And so I honor that, and I honor all the gods. And so let me rewind. So now we'll go back to the blessings. So candles are a huge part of my life. So candles are one of the offerings. Lighting it is one of the most popular forms, also for honoring and also for meditating. People also use herbs and flowers, which I also do. Actually, in the candle, I think it's in my Midsummer's candle from Yankee Candle, I sprinkled some lilac. My protection herbs that I make in my pendants, I sprinkled that in there. So you can do herbs as well. You can also do flowers, dried flowers or real flowers somehow. Food is a very popular in the different cycles throughout the world, throughout the year for pagans. Food is a huge part of it. A lot of people offer different food, colored food, depending on who their god and goddess is. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. I honor, excuse me, my goddess, my Egyptian goddess is Goddess Sekhmet. She has been part of my life for, I'm counting the years, 11 years I've recognized her as my goddess. Her offering, she loves reds, browns, and golds. Tiger's Eye is a huge crystal for her. Reds as in foods. So if I wanted to offer a food for her, I'd have to pick a red food, especially around the different holidays, leaving an offering outside for her under the full moon or under whatever moon there is. You can do that. Then they have more non-traditional offerings. So that's more like me. I'm kind of like, I go with what I feel. I go with what the spirit calls for me to do. They don't have to be material. So like, for instance, how I honor the dead, okay? So I choose to honor the dead every day. I light a white candle every night. Right when I get home from work, I go to the dollar store, just so you all know, and I buy the white candles. And what I do is I have them here. And when I get home from work at night, if it's not too late, before I cook dinner, I'll let the dogs out. I light my candle on my altar for the ancestors and for all those I've loved in life and lost. And I light a candle for them, and then I go about my way. And then that candle stays lit until I'm ready to go to bed, and then I blow it out. That's just me. Everyone is different. Now, the ritual candles that I was talking about that I used to be able to buy, they were blessed and had different intent purposes. You could buy a candle and you bless it for the money spell. You can make a candle and bless it for love, like, like a relationship. You can bless it for a job. If you're looking for a job and you're having a hard time, someone can bless a candle that way with a spell or a ritual into the candle for you. I was considering doing this custom for people. However, I'm not really sure if there's a calling for it. So if anybody's watching this channel and thinks that's something I should offer through my business, let me know. It's definitely worth looking into. Right now, I just do the pendants. And I don't think a lot of people realize that they're not just pendants like you would go into a store and buy. These pendants have a specific purpose. They're made for a specific thing. So, like, yeah. So anyways, so I just wanted to talk about that with you. Many people ask me that, especially now with the holiday today. What else? Spirit communications, I always get questions about that, like how long have I been able to communicate with the dead? Is it something that scared me when I was a kid? Do I still see spirits, or do I just hear them, or how do I communicate with them? So for me, I started seeing spirits when I was a child, but you have to understand at 3-4 years old, I had a near-death experience, and I don't know if I could see them before that because I don't remember that young. However, I always saw them, but I did not know they were dead. So I would see them and think that they were people, not realizing they were dead. I knew they were different. I just didn't know they weren't living people. And I didn't really realize that they were dead until, I want to say, right before I hit the teens. So around 9, 10, maybe 11 years old. Maybe even 12. I have a very hard time with memory with years. From my dysfunctional abusive childhood, so it's kind of like something that I have to work on, but yeah, I didn't realize that they were dead until then, and the reason why I knew is because my grandmother had died, and I want to say I was 13. I think I was 12 or 13, and when she died, I didn't really know her very well. I had seen a couple pictures of her and met her once or twice, so I remember what she looked like. And so when she died, and I never shared the story with anybody, so this is the first time I've ever said it out loud. So we went to the funeral, and she's being buried, and it's the first time I had ever seen my dad cry. And we're all standing around, and she was there. And so, I had to hide my gifts as a child, so there's that. And then to see her standing there, I realized that it freaked me out, and I wanted to, I kept trying to close my eyes and look away and try not to look at her because it kind of freaked me out as a kid. Because, kids get scared over stupid stuff. And then, 2 days later, I saw her again. So I knew then that the people that I was seeing were dead people. So that's really hard for a kid. However, the younger you are, the more you can adapt to it and understand it if someone teaches you. So this is one of the reasons why I'm writing a child's book, because I feel like there's so many parents out there that it skips a generation, that their child is intuitive and not, I don't want to say psychic because I hate that word, but has this ability of some sort to some degree, and they don't know how to help them. And I'd hate to see people be like me when I was growing up, where they were shunned and told they were going to go to hell because of this ability. I'm writing the story in a series of books, and I started it with the beginning of her being younger, and I'm going to do a series of her going through different things that I went through as an empath and a child that could see the dead, and I'm going to work it up till she's a teenager and then an adult. And I think that's going to help people, because when I'm long gone, I hope I can get them published, because I hope they help children to understand that, yes, they're afraid of the dark. So if a child's afraid of the dark, yeah, most kids are usually afraid of the dark or afraid of under the bed, but there are children out there that parents, make fun of. And I'm not trying to be mean to any parents that don't, think this is funny. They might be watching this going, oh God, I do this and I don't even realize it. I'm not trying to be insulting or say that, making fun of your kid is okay, or that you're doing that. But one of the things I'm trying to say, and I don't know if I'm coming across correctly, is that you may think you're doing them a justice, right? Telling your child, oh, be brave. It's just the dark. But if it's a child that's intuitive like me and they're seeing a dead person, And like, mind you, I don't want to scare anybody, but we don't always see them as being like I am right now, where we're all in one piece. We can see the dead the way they died. So those horror movies that you can see dead like that, and children can see dead like that. So think about that. If you're intuitive and you're attracting spirits, because let's just face it, once they know that you can hear or see them, especially me, they're always around me, so you have to protect yourself. Well, a child doesn't know how to do that, so they're open to it. And here, they're trying to sleep, they have a nightlight on, it's dark, they're scared because they know they come around. And then here they are with the, gunshot wound or whatever, and the father or mother is basically, hey, be brave and all this. They just don't understand. So I thought by doing a series of books throughout the ages of this young girl, it's a little girl and her pug, I thought it would help people. So I sent it to Callie, who did my artwork for my business name. She's an amazing artist. And when I can make some money from my business that I just purchased the name for, Parlay the Spirit, and if I can make some money between my readings, my pendants, my custom made items, as well as next year I think I'm going to offer some classes with different things, maybe then I could purchase her services to get my book, my picture board that I made for my book a reality. So I would love to manifest that in 2019. So I'm just putting it out there for the universe. So I hope this has been informative about offerings on today of all days, because a lot of people, think that they have to follow a certain witch book and be like, okay, so this is my book of shadows. This is my altar. This is this holiday. I have to do it this way. This is the god I have to follow. This is the goddess I have to follow. And that's another thing. Before I end this video is, I get all of the time a question, how do you know who your god and goddess is? Well, I didn't just open a book and pick somebody. That's not how you find your god or goddess. So about 13 years ago, I went to a Wiccan church back in Connecticut. I was dating someone who belonged to the church, and many of the people there would just pick a common, god or goddess. And I remember I was in a meeting one night, and one of the newcomers said, how do you know which god or goddess is you? And I remember the person next to them saying, oh, well, just, I picked, let's just use this person, Diana, because she does this, this, and this. It seemed to me, by following and listening to everybody, it seemed like a majority of people were just picking the famous ones, right? The ones that we hear about. So I remember asking somebody that belonged to the church that I respected very much how she found out who her goddess was, because Morrigan was her goddess. She meditated on it and she prayed on it when she did her rituals, and Morrigan came to her through signs. And it's funny, Diana was the first one who came to me, but then Morrigan has always been around me, but I never really realized it since I was little, as well as Sekhmet. Those two, the Egyptian god and Morrigan, they both have been around me. So different religions, different paths, like Greek, Egyptian, and other ones, they're all like attached, meaning Morrigan is, a goddess, and then you have Sekhmet, and then you have Diana, and then you have Freya, who's Viking, right, Norse. So you have them from different, I don't know what the word is I want to use, different paths. And I wrote a paper on this too, so I am like losing my words because I'm so tired. But anyways, so that's how I meditated on it. Diana came to me first. Sekhmet has always been around me. Morrigan is one of them, and Odin has always been in my life. And so I have a few other smaller god and goddesses that I honor. Goddess Sedna is one of the less famous ones. She's amazing. She is just amazing. I have the gift of being able to communicate with fish and mammals because of her. And then Diana, I have the gift of being the horse, dog, and elephant whisperer. Horses especially. I mean, dogs, yes, but horses especially. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. But anyways, I just wanted to share some information about offerings on today of all days. And I really hope you're all having a safe and happy Halloween. And you're those who practice like myself, I hope that later on you will honor whoever it is that you want to honor, and just remember that there's no particular way, no way is wrong. As long as your intent and the love you put into it and the power you put into it is true, that's what you need to believe in. It's just like when I make my pendants, the intent and the love is there and the energy is there. And so, so many people come to me, clients that have bought my pendants that just love them. And so I just hope that someday people will wear them and, understand that the purpose and the love were put into them. So I hope you all have a great evening. And like I said, I hope if you're taking your children out and they're trick-or-treating, I hope they get a lot of good treats, and I hope everybody stays safe. If you have, I'd like to put this out there at the end of this video before I end this. First off, don't forget to hit the like button. It helps my channel tremendously. I'd love to get the subscribers up. I'm trying to make it to 100 so I can have a giveaway. Don't forget to hit the notification bell if you want to be alerted when new content or when I go live. And then as well as if you're not already subscribed, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're interested in this content. Now before I go, I wanted to say, please post below any questions you would like me to answer. I want to do a questions feed with any questions that you have about mediumship, readings, witchy jewelry, organite jewelry that I make, or anything else that you might have questions on. I look forward to those questions, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your evening, and thank you again for everyone who subscribed. Have a great night, and I will see you next time.